Television. It is Friday, the 10th day of October 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Combi. This is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akinlabi Holder, and it is Friday, the end of the work week. It is a beautiful day outside. The air is fresh, the sky is clear, and we're ready to go. Not so, Adana?
That's right, that's right. It's a beautiful morning, and just before, a couple of minutes ago, I don't know where you are on the island, if you are on the island at all, but a couple of minutes ago, I just heard a loud crash of rainfall. It lasted us about 10 seconds, very intense rainfall for about 10 to 15 seconds there. And we thank God for the rain. It's a dry season, and it's a rainy season, sorry. We haven't been having much rain, and I suppose that's why I thought we are in the dry season, but we thank God for every drop of rain because the earth needs it. We've been seeing some strange activities in the water as well, and so this is just our encouragement to you to remain safe wherever you are and whatever you do. Right, we have a wonderful show lined up for you this morning, but before we get into all of that, we have to head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, 10th October 2025. In a major breakthrough for the country's energy ambitions, Attorney General John Jeremy SC announced that the government of Trinidad and Tobago has secured the license from the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control to advance the long-anticipated Dragon Gas project. The approval came after months of diplomatic engagement and negotiations involving the government of Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, and the United States. Jeremy revealed that the current administration spent considerably less than its predecessors in obtaining the license, which marked a crucial milestone in strengthening energy cooperations between Port-au-Spain and Caracas. Meanwhile, former Energy Minister Stuart Young has urged the government to clarify the terms of the 6-month provisional OFAC license recently granted for the Dragon Gas field. In a Facebook post, Young questioned whether Shell and the National Gas Company are permitted to make payments to Venezuela under the arrangement. Citing his own role in securing a 30-year license for the project, he criticized the government's lack of transparency, accusing it of hypocrisy for withholding details after once labeling the PNM's Dragon negotiation a secret deal. Young called for full disclosure on the license terms. And finally, in some softer news, Trinidad and Tobago will face off Bermuda today in a crucial CONCACAF final round qualifier for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The match kicks off at 6 p.m. at the Bermuda National Stadium. Head coach Dwight York said his team is ready to deliver. With 1 point from 2 matches, TNT sit third in Group B behind Jamaica and Curacao. York urged for focus and unity, calling the Bermuda clash a must-win for their World Cup hopes. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And we start off the celebrations this morning by saying happy birthday to Shaquille Scott. Shaquille Scott is celebrating a birthday today, and we want you to join in with us as we say happy birthday to Shaquille. We do hope that you have a wonderful birthday today, and of course we pray God's amazing blessings upon your life as you enter this new phase and chapter of your life.
And we continue the celebrations by saying happy birthday to Miss Josanne Franklin. Today is your special day. Yes, today is your birthday. We wish you a happy birthday blessings, and pray God's richest blessings on your life, and that everything that you set your mind to moving forward, Miss Franklin, you put God first, and you create a plan, and you have a set mindset, and you achieve everything your heart desire. Happy birthday to you.
We also say happy birthday to Candice Jones. Candice Jones is also celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. Of course, we pray God's blessings upon your life as you continue to walk in fine style as you usually do. Looking out for the birthday pics today. Of course, I'm doing a photo every year for her birthday, and we do hope, Candice, that you have an amazing birthday today as well. Right, and our final birthday celebrant, Kevin Ayong Julian. Ooh, today he's celebrating, and I say happy birthday to you, cuz I hope you have an amazing birthday today. I pray God's blessings upon your life as you continue to serve in the capacity of fashion designer and having that eye for fashion and style. I do hope that your birthday is as fashionable as you are. So happy birthday to you as well. And of course, if you are celebrating, even though we don't have your photographs, we join in the celebration with you and remind you to put God first, because He's the sole reason why there's anything for you to celebrate. So it's that time of the morning. It's Friday, and we are in studio this morning. We're heading into the weekend. But Akinlabi, who are we having conversations with today?
Well, this morning we're having conversations with Bimal and Govinda Ramalogan, who are executive members of the Tobago Hindu Society, and they come to talk to us about the Tobago Hindu Society's Diwali celebrations for 2025. And also we're going to have in Mr. Alistair Guevara, who is the Commissioner of Police of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and he'll be speaking to us about a review of the SOEs thus far, the armed officers at schools, at our secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago, and as well as the crime fighting plans specifically for Tobago. And finally, as usual, on Fridays, we're going to have Marcus Daniel in, Mr. Cricket, and he's going to be speaking with Mr. Kenny Everton Alfred, who is the president of the Tobago Football Association, to talk about football updates in Tobago. That's our sports segment.
And of course, you want to be a part of the conversation this morning. In fact, we want you to be a part of it. Remember, you can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel at Tobago Updates. We want to hear from you. Perhaps you might have a question you want to ask our guests in studio. Go ahead and put it there in the chat so we know that you are with us. Remember, you are the reason why we remain #1 for morning show here on the island of Tobago. Well, we have to go for a short break before we begin those conversations this morning. And as we go, we invite you to help us.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
We'll be right back.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly.
Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this Friday morning by speaking with Bimal and Govinda Ramlogan, and this morning we're talking about Diwali celebrations. They are representing the Tobago Hindu Society, and as we know that we are celebrating Diwali in the coming, next week, we are celebrating, and so we're going to be talking about what the Tobago Hindu Society is doing. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Sitaram.
Right, Sitaram, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and for being who you guys are in terms of ensuring that the Hindu culture remains alive, right? And so we heading up to Diwali. We know Diwali is celebrated on the 20th of October this year. And of course, the Hindu Society of Tobago must represent and put on a show for the people of Tobago to come and celebrate with you guys. So tell us a little bit about what the show will look like, what we can expect when we come to the show.
Okay. So thank you for having us once again. Every year we are truly blessed to be a part of your show. This year we're doing the program once again at the mall, the Lowlands Mall, Gulf City Mall. We have a lot of artists on display. From Govinda himself here will be performing Tobago Chana. I know Govinda is no stranger.
That's right.
To Tobago media. Just recently, Govinda performed at the opening for the CPL in Trinidad.
Congratulations.
Proud Tobagonian, went to school here his whole life, all these things, and his singing started in the Tobago Hindu Society. So that started as a platform for growth. We also have Mia Bipat, Princess Mia Bipat. She's achieving phenomenal things. Just last week, was it? She was in Trinidad. She went to receive a prize award. Every week, this child is there in Trinidad performing, achieving great success.
So tell us some more. I mean, I know about Mia, and I know she placed second, I think, in the Children of Mastana a couple of weeks ago, and we had her on the program as well. So tell us a little bit more about who we can expect at the show.
Well, we have Sandeshi Orchestra from Trinidad. We also have Acharya Rukmini Holas Bipat. She's our auntie also. We also have Sanjay Sharma from India, and of course Sita Bipat Kombi. She will be doing the dances she learned from India, but Natyam styling. Also, we have Pikapan, which is a very interesting competition, which is known in Mastana Bahar. And we also will be crowning the Diwali Queen.
And that crowning of that Diwali Queen every year is always a feature for that event. When we see the young ones, encouraging them to be a part of the culture and to understand the culture. What I like about the program itself is the inclusivity. It's not just limited to the Hindu Society. You have an open call for all of Tobago to participate in the event. And tell us why it is important for you to ensure that it's not just for Hindus.
Well, the Tobago Hindu Society, we are very open and very welcome. We want to develop talent. Yesterday, I confirmed with Sita, there was a young boy who played the steel pan at the event last year. So he also confirmed to come and do the national anthem and so on. It's about providing a stage for all of Tobago. Hinduism has a lot to do with music, culture, and the arts. And if it is that we could help develop Tobago's culture, it will take us pretty far. The Acharya Rukmini Bipat, she has been awarded the Hummingbird Gold Medal for her contributions towards culture and education. She will be there. She's known throughout Trinidad very well for writing multiple books and so on. So it's not just about entertainment. It has a lot to do with development, education, and growth.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us when the event is taking place, date and time, so that we can invite our viewers to come and support you.
Well, the event is taking place tomorrow, 11th of October, 5 p.m. at the Lowlands Mall. Bima Ram Logan, he is the MC. And from the way he speaks, you know he is very knowledgeable and can educate the public furthermore. And also the puja, which is the prayers, will be done by Pandit Ramdat Mahes. He's our spiritual leader in Tobago, for the Tobago Hindu Society. I will encourage everyone to come out and have fun and also be entertained, and obviously we'll have very delicious meals prepared.
That's the important part there.
Yes.
But you know, before we go, I'm calling you Tobago Channel. Before we go, just give us a little thing before we wrap up this interview.
Okay, well, one of the songs I'll be performing is I Hai Diwali. It's an original bhajan composed by my grandfather, the late Hari Holas. Okay. Ai Hai Diwali gar gar sare angana. Ai Hai Diwali gar gar sare angana. Bar more jogiya jagat par diyana. Bar more jogiya jagat par diyana.
Thank you so much for coming this morning. And of course, viewers, we are inviting you to be a part of the program tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow at the Lowlands Mall. Come one, come all, and support, be a part of what is happening there with the Tobago Hindu Society as we, as Trinidad and Tobago, celebrate Diwali 2025. Well, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations this morning in studio. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Tobago, are you ready to light up the night? Join us for the Lambo Credit Union's Moonlight Miles for Diabetes Glow Walk 2025.
On Saturday, November 15th at Cano Bay Nature Resort, we'll walk, glow, and raise awareness for a healthier tomorrow.
From 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Bring your family and friends for plenty glow energy.
Registration is just $180 per person, or grab your crew of 5 for only $150 each.
Sign up online or at Lambo Credit Union branches before October 31st.
For more registration and payment details, visit lambocreditunion.com and search Moonlight Miles today.
The road is calling. Tobago Carnival. Neon is coming. Presenting the Mashup King himself, DJ Kai, alongside the voice of the people, Boy Boy. The dynamic duo bringing pure fire to the road, CSI Khaled and Selecta Stefan. And Tobago's own, the people's champion, DJ Big Youth. This is Neon Night Mass. One road, one rhythm, one experience. Tobago Carnival 2025. We outside.
Rise and shine, Tobago. The breakfast vibes you've been waiting for is here.
When you rum, tell you you's a big dancer.
It's time for Sun Up Tobago, the ultimate breakfast inclusive cooler party that kicks off your carnival in style.
We come to take shots. She come to take shots.
Join us on Thursday, October 23rd from 6 a.m. to 12 noon at Scarborough House, 138 Milford Road. Music pumping, breakfast sizzling, coolers flowing, and vibes unmatched. This is where sun, sea, soca, and celebration collides. Get your early bird tickets now at Pablo Supermarket, Barcode, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Signature Cuts, IslandEtickets.com, and committee members. Don't miss the event where Tobago Carnival truly begins. Son of Tobago. Come for the breakfast, stay for the vibe.
Girl, roll up your waist, show me that wine. Turn around, girl, don't be shy. Hello.
Nirvana, Tobago's premier all-inclusive event for Carnival 2025.
About the way you blow my mind. Hold me tight and wave your hands to the sky like so. Just look at the person next to you and say welcome to.
Join us for a night of elegance, energy, and unmatched vibes at Fête AMPLIA. Come dressed in your finest island chic white attire and indulge in a premium carnival experience like no other. Experience live performances by Nadia Batson and Sass, Patrice Roberts and the 18 Band, Charles Marshall, Lyrical, Ramonapi, Juby, and many more. Get your tickets now at IslandEtickets.com. Physical tickets available in Trinidad at SRP on the Avenue, Showaholic, Trin City Mall, Port of Spain, and Center City Mall. Happy's Waterhole, Pleasantville, Avala, Hotland Plaza, in Tobago, Barcode Scarborough, Deltec Distributors, Argyle, Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Jade Monkey Crown Point, Showaholics Lowland, and any committee member. Immerse, illuminate, indulge. Saturday 25th October 2025 from 5 p.m. at the magnificent Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. Dress code Island Chic, all white. Nirvana. Fête AMPLIA, where luxury meets rhythm and elegance meets euphoria. Don't just attend, arrive in style.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversation this morning, and as we get into this conversation, remember you can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel at Tobago Updates, because we really want to hear from you. We are having conversations with Alistair Guevara. He is the top cop. You might know that name. Yes, he's the Commissioner of Police of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and this morning we're going to be having conversations with him on matters concerning managing Trinidad and Tobago as it relates to crime. Specifically, the conversation will center around Tobago. Good morning and welcome.
Pleasant good morning, Ms. Crombie. Pleasant good morning, Mr. Holder. Thanks for having me. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and a special good morning to Tobago.
That's right. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. And so we're going to get straight into the conversation. First and foremost, it's our first conversation with you as the Commissioner of Police. So let me say on behalf of Tobago Updates Television, congratulations to you in your appointment. And we're going to get into
and I'm sure it will not be the last.
All right. Well, we're hoping so, because one thing about us is we love having conversations with TTPS, because that is where we get informed, direct information rather than the hearsay that we hear about. We get the information that we need to get in order to update our viewers. So we could be in a place where we kind of know what is happening to a certain level. While I know the TTPS cannot divulge all the information, we feel comforted when we have the conversations from the representatives. So having said that, we want to get into a conversation that I think we should have. I mean, we currently are in an SOE, as we are aware, and it's the second time within, from December, we went into an SOE, and then we went back into an SOE in this year within a short space of time, citing that there are issues of security matters that need to be addressed. And here we are months after, still under an SOE. And the question is, have you seen, from your perspective, based on the information that came in and the reason for the SOE, have you had any major breakthroughs, or were you able to detect anything or have any measure of control over the information that came in that led to the SOE?
So again, the SOE was requested as a result of particular information, or we call it intelligence, that have come to the knowledge of the Commissioner of Police. That knowledge being shared with the National Security Council, a decision was made to act and implement a state of emergency, granting the police particular powers. Before the public were made aware that there was an SOE at 12 midnight that night till around 7 a.m. that morning, particular police exercises would have been implemented to arrest the cause, the initial cause of the SOE. And persons were removed from particular places of detention and taken elsewhere. As a result, the initial cause for concern was arrested. That was dealt with. We then went into the other phase, which was searching, seeking, and finding the elements that existed. Thus far, I think from the last data, we have executed about 77 or 79 preventative detention orders. We have about 46 or 47 still outstanding to be executed. So there are persons out there we're still looking for. So we are not taking it lightly. We are still actively hunting them.
And you believe that it is still necessary to be in an SOE at this point in time?
Let me ask you a question. You feel like you're in an SOE?
I don't, I don't know what the feeling of an SOE is at this point in time, but
you see
I mean,
soldiers walking around the streets
right.
with big guns and intimidating, just look on anything. No, the God-fearing, law-abiding citizens of Trinidad still going about their business normal, Mr. Holder?
Yeah, I mean, I am, yes.
You still partying?
Well, I don't party, but
still
I'm
going
going
to the beach?
Yes, I'm
You're still going around?
The thing about it is, I understand that, and I know what we know, well, coming up as a young child, knowing about an SOE, especially if you go back to 1990,
and even
you know,
1970s.
And there we go. And if you think about an SOE, it's a lot different. The feeling is a lot different there. But I'm talking about the impact that you are making. I mean, you said you arrested the main cause, and that you've affected between 77 to 79, and you have about. Do you see the impact of an SOE as opposed to normal policing at this point in time?
Normal policing
continues. I'm aware, yes. Mm-hmm.
And hundreds of persons have been arrested and taken before the courts during this SOE as well. So that is not the 77 or 79 persons on preventative detention orders. They were placed on PDOs for a particular purpose. And for the first time in the history of Trinidad, we have persons who are incarcerated and imprisoned being placed on preventative detention orders. So this is a historic first for Trinidad. You're already in jail, but we're putting you on a preventive detention order to give us a little more control over you. Because let us not bury our heads in the sand. They are still communicating instructions from behind prison walls. And that is a serious situation that we need to arrest. We need to cut out, curtail immediately. When we cut the head of leadership off, then we were able to realize particular gains. And as we went along and we monitored, we evaluated, and we redispensed our resources. We don't have indefinite resources, but the little bit that we have, we are able to redirect them, particularly to treat with the situations as they arise. And we're continuing to do so very effectively.
So, Commissioner Guevara, one of the concerns I think my co-host was trying to raise, and it's reflected in society, is that you had a particular goal for the SOE, but the society in general wants to see general control of the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. So given that you have achieved the majority of your goals in the particular thing that you wanted to tackle, has the police operations expanded beyond that in the SOE to utilize their powers in the SOE to tackle other crime issues in Trinidad and Tobago?
So we have been utilizing the powers under the SOE to tackle other crime that has come to our being. Look at that multi-million-dollar drug fine that we had in Southwestern Division recently. Up to yesterday evening, officers were finding firearms and taking them off the streets. So we have had persons being arrested and taken to court and already being sentenced. Those are the figures that Trinidad and Tobago wouldn't be aware of, because what we would consider part of normal, everyday routine policing activities. What the SOE does, it gave the police particular powers as it regards to placing persons on preventative detention orders. Let us examine the word preventative detention order. The police can now approach the authorities to place, which is the Minister of Homeland Security, to place a particular person based on intelligence. We present reports to you and say, listen, this person is a threat to society because this is the intelligence we have that this person is a part of or planning to do or has done something that is inimical to society, and that if they are not removed from part of society and placed on a preventative detention order, this is something that will continue to occur or that will occur. The minister, being so satisfied, will then either grant or refuse the request of the police. And thus far, what we have is we've been able to present good intelligence and evidence to the minister so that we've been able to have that, seamless scenario going on.
Also, you mentioned that you were able to isolate the leaders of these criminal organizations, and it exposed certain things that you wanted to get out. In terms of, we know at some point the preventative or detention orders and the SOE must come to an end. So is the TTPS doing work to really address the root cause of these, of the root operations of these organizations to enable you to dismantle these organizations?
And that is what we are in right now. We are in the dismantling stage. But it is an all of society, all of law enforcement approach that we are trying to use. So we're not just tackling the malevolent behaviors. We are trying to encourage good behaviors in society. And as I was mentioning this morning on another program, that even the school-oriented policing, whereas it was seen as us versus them, in terms of the children, viewing the police as Babylon or 5 or whatever they choose to call us nowadays. We're now seeing police officers playing badminton with them in the school, lecturing to them, fixing their ties. So we see that softer side, that softer approach to policing now being realized. So we are not just attacking them when they get bad, we're trying to attack them before they are influenced to get bad. So in looking at addressing the post-SOE, as you call it, there are still laws in place in Trinidad and Tobago. And there are some laws that we would like to get amended and tweaked and introduced to give the police a little more teeth in treating with the crime situation. And that is also being addressed at a different level.
And of course, we welcome it because at the end of the day, and as we always have the conversation with TTP, at the end of the day, we want to be able to walk, confidently in our streets, not thinking, oh, who's walking 2 steps behind me? I find this person walking too close behind me.
This morning,
no, I'm saying this is what we're used to in Trinidad and Tobago, primarily in Tobago. Tobago is very relaxed, very laid back. And I remember a time when you could leave your front door open and go to the neighbor and come back and nothing is missing. And now we're seeing society is changing. And what I'm saying is to get back to there is what we're really hoping to achieve, and we're hoping that the partnership will allow for that to happen. I know it is not like a magic wand. There are systems you have to put in place and mindsets you have to change. And as you mentioned, dismantling and redirecting the way people operate. And as you introduce the policing in schools, you mentioned the soft touch approach. But what is the reception in terms of the schools, the students, the teachers, to the police officers being in the schools with them?
I'd like to use one word: phenomenal. At the beginning of it, we had the Parent Teachers Association, the National Parent Teachers Association, being somewhat resistant. And within 2 days, they got on board. So remember that phrase that we came, get on board with the TTPS? Even the NPTA is now on board with the school-oriented policing. And back to your situation, you said someone following you? Or someone following you?
No, I didn't say someone was following me. We'd like to get to a place where you're not thinking, who is walking behind me and you're looking over your shoulder.
It may be somebody trying to get your number.
You have jokes this Friday morning. All right, so we in Tobago, the Tobago space now, we have the Commissioner of Police in Tobago, and we cannot have you here and not talk about what we're doing for Tobago? What is the actual crime plan for Tobago? I know the TTPS, they continue to have their town meetings, they collaborate with communities, and all of these things are happening. But from the top cup, we want to know what is the direction? How do we intend to curb crime and to strengthen partnerships and to ensure that communities across Tobago understand that crime fighting is our thing and we have to work together to get it done. So what is the plan?
I love our thing. You prove to me at Tobago.
That's right.
All right. Well, then you invite the wrong person on the show. You know? The person you should have here was Mr. Eli and Mr. Subero, because they're doing, again, a tremendous job. Look at the crime statistics for Tobago over the past year, and you would see the comparative analysis between 2024 and 2025. Last year at this time, Tobago had 25 homicides. This year it's 6. And out of the 6, 4 of them have been solved already. That's 300% decrease in homicide in Tobago. As I always say, say something, clap for that. That is what Mr. Subero and Mr. Eli are doing in your Tobago space. They are engaging the members of the business community, members of the NGOs, the schools, the education, everything. So all of Tobago approach. And I want all of Tobago to get on board with the TTPS in realizing that dream you have of persons walking down the street and not being watching me, God, who following me, boy? And it's not to give me a number, you know, it's for to take your handbag or to grab your phone. I also want to urge Tobago, because in examining the crime statistics for the island, we recognize that there are particular offenses that are continuously occurring because of the are we what?
Are we thing?
The situation is you cannot continue to make yourself soft targets and leave your front doors open. That's back in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. There are now persons who would be looking and knowing that mentality and seek to victimize you. Go in and take your flat screen TV. Go in and take your jewelry. And in some cases, take other things. Help us to help you. Lock your doors. That people leaving their cars open in Tobago here still, you know. And people taking them and joyriding with them and finding them on the other half of the island. Lock your car. Put in an alarm system. It's not much of an inconvenience to you. But at the same time, it helps to reduce the fact that you would now become victims. Right? So make yourself harder targets.
How unfortunate is that? You know, how unfortunate that you have to take those steps. And I understand the need for it, because that is where we are right now and that's what we're dealing with. But how unfortunate. And, you know, in terms of, I think you mentioned earlier, having to change the mindset, having to change, because society has become so selfish that all they think about is immediate gains. And changing our mindset, it takes a lot. It's not, it can't happen overnight. So in terms of how is the TTPS positioning itself with others, state agencies, communities, the business community, to ensure that we come back to a place where, you know, you say here that saying it takes a village to raise a child, and all of these things, where we realize that we have to be in this together. What is the approach?
We welcome everyone to get on board with the TTPS. Any NGOs, all the educational sporting organizations, even the media. I always say, you all are the people, you are the voice, the vanguards to democracy. So, you know, we need to get that everyone on board spirit to get the society back to what it was. I grew up in Moruga, 14.5-mile mark Penal Rock Road. So I used to have to walk 2.5 kilometers to get to the junction to get a taxi to go to school and then walk back. So I used to do a 5K every day. My mother never locked her door during my entire time growing up, because she says she have children and anybody could walk in at any given time. I ain't doing that today. When I come back, I'll meet her dance hall. That is not what we want. But at the same time, we must now realize that the society has now changed. We are being influenced by social media, by music that we're listening to. Well, they stop reading. They're just looking at TV now and looking at movies, and everybody wants to be the next John Wick. So, smile at that. At the end of the day, we must now realize that there has been a significant change, a realignment of the thought processes of the younger generation. We went from Generation X to Generation Y to Gen Zs, millennials, I think they have another one that they just brought out.
I think it's Alpha.
Alpha. And everyone has a different mentality. They are not baby boomers again. And the silent generation, they grew up in a different time. And there is a saying, hard times make strong men. Strong men make easy times. Easy times make weak men. So when you look at the cycle, we grew up with parents who were strong. So we have a strong society. But at this point in time, we are allowing television and internet to raise our children. So that's a conversation to have. Pay attention to what your children put in their bags to go to school. So the school-oriented policing, we find in narcotics, we find in knives. These are the things that we don't want in our schools. So parents, I urge you, check your children's school bags.
As you, Commissioner, as you mentioned the children carrying knives and weapons to schools, I just want to go back to the school policing. In the short time that you've been doing the school policing, has the TTPS observed or are they attempting to tackle the issues of gangs operating in schools? Because we know there's been this appearance of gangs starting to infiltrate schools and encouraging young boys to join the gangs and then carry the operations into the schools. How is the TTPS going about tackling that using the school policing?
Thus far, I have had no information come to my knowledge that that situation exists in those schools that we are currently policing at. However, I recognize from my own observations on social media that the children now realizing they can't fight in the school anymore, they're taking it out in the streets. They're fist fighting, and it seems to be a lot of the girls meeting each other in stores and on the streets on the way home and have begun to now fight outside of the schools. So that is something we will now look at, and we will now adjust the patrol regime so that we will now have a situation where we might have to start sending children home 2:30 school over, by 3 o'clock get off the streets, get a taxi, go home. Why are you lingering around? Those are the things that will cause confrontations between children from the same school or even from other schools. We know it existed in our days, but now it is being highlighted because social media.
Commissioner, I like the idea. It sounds so good. Get home, school over, get in a taxi and get home. But by the time they get home, if about 6 of them could live in the same area, the same community, and they get ganging up against this one because I didn't get you in school because police was there, and this one was there, security officers were there, the school counselor was there. So I couldn't do it there, I couldn't do it on the road, but we reach home now and we're in the village, and we can handle it. What happens then?
That is where the parents had to come and take control of their children and their space. I remember the days a village raised a child. My very first school, Santa Maria RC School, I lived about 7 to 10 minute walk depending on how fast you walk. If by 3:15, my mother ain't see me reach home yet, trust me, belt will pass, you know.
And I that's the time I grew up in as well. And in terms of how now is the TTPS ensuring that because we're talking about policing in schools, we're talking about community projects. How is the TTPS ensuring that the parents understand their responsibility? Because we've seen in schools, and I suppose this is why the police is in school now, where children were really, really misbehaving. Violent behavior, sometimes criminal behavior, children getting serious injuries and having to be hospitalized. How is the TTPS ensuring that the parents realize, hey, this is your responsibility? And is there going to be a situation where a parent can be charged for the behavior of their child?
There are particular laws already in existence. However, what we would like to urge the members of the public, the parents, the right-thinking ones out there, partner with the police service. We have the community-oriented policing, who is the overall in charge of the school-oriented policing. We have stems where we can come into schools, and we have been going into schools and lecturing. If it's a situation where you as a parent decide that your child is uncontrollable, you can come to the police, and we have methods and means of dealing with that. Don't let them fall the way of getting advice and being recruited into gangs and along bad company. I grew up in a place famous for marijuana. I never smoked marijuana in my life. I passed through hundreds of marijuana fields because I'm a hunter. But you understand the rule of thumb. Just pass and leave and go. And this was at 14, 15, 16 years old. So the influence was there. But the mind is what, makes the person become influenced. So we need the parents to take charge of their children, or we will take charge of them.
All right. And in closing, I wish we had more time to continue conversation. Every time we have TTPS, we want more time. But in closing, I want you to encourage our viewers this morning, especially citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, because we have viewers worldwide. But citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and even the diaspora, encourage our citizens to remember that we have a responsibility for our own personal space, and we also have a responsibility to remain as upstanding citizens, law-abiding citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And should we know about somebody who isn't, the importance of partnering with the TTPS to ensure we curb crime and have a space that is free of crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
Ma'am, you see, you just said it all. You just endorsed everything that TTPS wants. We want community partnership. We want that ability to communicate with the public. Let them call us. We have 999-555. We have Crime Stoppers. Call the police. Have that interaction. We have those divisional commanders who are going out and keeping tongue meetings. Interact with them. Let them know what are the ills in your society. There are particular things that we can engage other departments to do. You recognize that, hey, the basketball court needs a little painting, upgrading. We can speak to the regional corporation. There's a street light out, men selling drugs underneath it. We can go and talk to T&Tech. There are particular treatments that we can go. I can talk about the nice fancy words of septed and all these other things. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to us wanting a better society, wanting better for ourselves and our families and our children. We want to leave a legacy. We don't want to end up like other parts of the world where you can't even walk the streets, and that persons will not be walking behind you for particular reasons. They'll be wanting to do you harm. So Trinidad, and especially Tobago, I know all love to leave all the door open, all the car open, but this is not the time for that. Lock it up. Help us to keep you safe and your property safe.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, for coming this morning and having that conversation with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Alistair Guevara. He is the Commissioner of Police of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. This morning we're talking about how we could curb crime, how we can partner with the TTPS, and what the TTPS is doing in the Trinidad and Tobago local space to ensure that you and I remain safe. Remember, we too have a responsibility, and we can partner with the TTPS to make this happen. We have to go for a short break, and up next is Marcus Daniel. Mr. Cricket is in studio this morning, and he'll be having sports talks with you, so do stay tuned with us as we go for this break. We invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
That's essentially the main catalyst which drove Frenzy Mass. I mean, all of us would have do a lot of things together, and this was just the next step, not evolution. We lime the party, so why don't we take all of that and bring it into Tobago, into a form of mass where we could go on Gallivant and do the same thing where other people could see what we do it on a bigger stage.
But at this point in time, I think Frenzy is important to me, so I decided to put some energies there. It's our first year Tobago Carnival, we now partner with Iconic Mass, and it's our first time, so I felt like, yeah, you just see come and really stamp your name and make that presence from the mass side of things. So guys, if I'm Frenzy Mass, really excited for Tobago this year.
Love to see the girl bend over. Suck me, me girl. Arch your back, arch your back. Stop arching. Suck me, girl. Arch your back, arch your back.
Say 1, 2, tie up your shoe. 3, 4, bend back more. 5, 6, no time for tricks. Wine like a feeling for sticks. So I want you bend like a forget to scream your leg. Hold on by your ankle them. Not just you, girl, you want your friend and you want your friend.
Hold me, girl, and wine. In Frenzy Mass. Watching out there. That is what I was seeing. Rocking it slow. That is what I was seeing.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. It's a fantastic Friday in the most beautiful month of the year, October. Yes, we are already into October, Friday 10th October. Yes, and we are here into the sporting segment. As limited as it is today, we're still talking sports this morning. And I have on set with me Mr. Kenny Alfred, some know him as Everton Alfred. All right, President of the Tobago Football Association. Good morning to you, Mr. Alfred.
Good morning to you, Marcus, and good morning to your viewers. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. Let me apologize to you for the late start, right? Anybody to blame is a guy called Mr. Ronell Wood, right?
Okay, I'll
take
deal
up the query with him, right? But of course, we are here. We want to talk about the Tobago Football Association League. I've seen matches on social media, but I haven't heard much about the Tobago Football Association League. Was that a deliberate ploy in terms of just starting the league?
I wouldn't say it was a deliberate ploy. Of course, you know, football is being restructured nationally. Just like all the other zones in Trinidad, we are starting in October. Tier 1 will be starting later this month. So it has been a directive to start this late, and we're happy that we have kicked off the season. But I want you to also permit me just a few minutes just to extend condolences to the family of John Pollard, who would have also played football in Tobago.
Hey, John played football too?
Yeah, he played with Phoenix some years ago. So it is my opportunity here to extend condolences to the loss. It has been a shocking one for us, but life goes on.
Yeah.
In terms of the football, yes, we have started really exciting games thus far. As you know that we're returned to the Premier Division and First Division now. So we are now asking the better teams to play each other twice. And from the results that we have gotten thus far, you can see that it's a difference. Phoenix winning 3-2 over Signal Hill. And then we had the clash between the FA Cup champions and the league champions, Gold City. Exciting match, finishing 3-2 in favour of Gold City, who had 10 men at the time. And then Speyside, in their derby game with Charlottesville, winning 3-1 out at Speyside. We now have backlights in Speyside, so we're blessed with having night football in the countryside. So we're thankful for that. So the football has started.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you are now back with the Premier Division and Division 2?
First Division.
But First Division. And compare that to what happened last year.
All right, so last year, as we did in the previous year, we had conferences.
Right.
So you were playing in your conference.
Right. That's based on your geographical location.
area.
Right.
And of course, coming out of the COVID, people were still, the economics wasn't right for people to be traveling the length and breadth of the island.
Understood.
So we've decided this year that we're going to return to the Premiership, have the best teams play against each other. Last year we had some scores that was nice to report.
So how did the association determine the best teams?
All right. So last year we had in the regulations the fact that the top 4 teams in the 2 conferences would automatically gain qualification.
Right. And
then we had the playoffs for 5th and 6th place in the 2 conferences.
Right.
So you had to earn it. You had to earn it on the field. So it wasn't any selection in.
So how many teams you have in the Premier Division this year?
10 teams we have in the Premier Division.
Can you list the 10 teams?
Charlottesville, Speyside, Roxborough, Georgia, Gold City, Stokelyville, Phoenix, Eagles.
That's a youth team. Okay, all right, Signal.
Yeah,
right.
Eagles is that youth team that came in 2 years ago, and of course we have Signal Hill as well in there, making up the top 10 teams.
And the Division 1.
Division 1, we have 11 teams. Right. We have 1 newcomer in Ball Blasters. They would have joined this year.
Right.
Upgraded from affiliate to full member. So you have from the east, you would have Bell Garden. They took a hiatus for 1 year. They're back. So Bell Garden, Goodwood, Cudler Hall, Golden Lane, Canby, Mount Pleasant, unfortunately. You have Blackrock.
Canby, Mount Pleasant is in Division 1?
Yeah,
they won the league, was it what?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
But what happened, of course, you remember they have a team now competing in the tier 2.
Oh, yes, and that's
so this is their reserve unit.
Understood.
So they're down there. So we have quite a few teams, Sinclair's coaching school, Bertil Sinclair as well, making up the 11. And as I said, Ball Blasters.
Yes.
They would have
and is it the same two rungs?
Two rungs. The top 2 teams in the First Division, they get promotion.
And then the bottom 2.
Bottom 2 goes down, as the case may be. We're not yet aware whether or not we're going to have promotion to the tier 2.
Right.
Or not, that's a TTFA matter. So.
Well, and what's a tier 2 about? What's a tier 2? Tier 2 is a Tobago Football Association?
No, tier 2 is nationally. That's where Canby, Mount Pleasant.
Oh, you're not too sure if the Premier Division winners will automatically go to that. But that's a choice of the club because, I mean, the financial.
Well, of course, there is some requirements financially that you have to meet.
Yeah.
Both in terms of registration and travel.
Yeah.
And of course, your players have to get time off from work. So it's always a burden.
So tell the public about viewing the matches and where can they see get the fixtures and time?
So the fixtures is on our Facebook page now, and it's now been shared with our media partners that could go out. We had some discussions as recent as this week with the stadium management.
Right.
And we have been meeting with the Division of Sports to ensure that we understand the availability. Unfortunately, we only now have 1 day at the Dwight York Stadium. It's available to us per week, so we had to restructure the fixtures. And lighting facilities is still a little challenge on the island. While we can have enough grounds for this First Division, the Premier Division is a little more challenging.
Because you don't want to get gates from the Premier Division.
Yeah, well, that is what we would have hoped for. But we still have to work with Corlan. That still has perhaps the best lights on the island.
Yes.
The Dwight York Stadium for the 1 day, and we're now using Speyside as well.
So the Roxborough is out of the
Roxborough, we still have some lighting challenges, so we could only play daylight games there, maybe 1 game at 4 o'clock because the weather is a lot very hot.
And what are the days of the matches? What days?
So the Premier Division is playing primarily on a Sunday and on a Wednesday.
Right, double headers?
Yeah, double headers when we get the stadium or at Corlan.
At Corlan, right.
And then, of course, on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And perhaps some Saturdays we will play the First Division.
Okay, and what's the conversation like with the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport with respect to...
Well, it has been very positive. The outlook has been positive. We just 2 days ago, the secretary spoke to me about the availability of Mount Grace. He would have refurbished the lights there so that we have to go now and take a look at the surface and the lighting, which I believe he should have a good read on, so that we're going to look at using Mongrace, bringing some football back into that community as well. Moriah is still up and running with the lights, so that we're going to use up there. We have Golden Lane and, of course, Castara using that ground. Hopefully, they're going to do some work on Keenan. So maybe. Well,
I will, Mr. Alfred, if you can get that off, I'll be very, very happy, right? So that as a cricketer and someone from Keenan Bonaccord, I would love if they can get Keenan Bonaccord back up and running. I think Felix will be happy as well.
Yeah, they definitely will be happy as well. So that we're hoping there. What we are hoping for, what I'm really hoping for, is Mount Pleasant being available to us.
Oh, you're right, because they get gates here as well, and I mean that has been done for a while as well.
It has been done for a couple of years, so that has been a challenge, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that we can get Mount Pleasant, and then hopefully Roxborough we could get some work done in Roxborough so that we could earn some revenue. Because sponsorship is still a little challenging.
And I was going to touch on that as well. I mean, last year you would have depended solely on the Tobago House of Assembly. I mean, what's the direction there in terms of the
so that sometime next week we're going to start hitting the ground, running or walking to engage with some of our stakeholders to see how best we can get them involved, because people need to understand that we need to find avenues to use the energy of young people positively. And sport is obviously one of the positive vehicles that we can use to do that. So next week we're going to start speaking to Corporate Tobago. Maybe sometime in the future we can venture to Trinidad, but we do need the support. We do need to find activities for our youngsters. And this year, Marcus, we're hoping to engage our youngsters in some international football.
Right.
We do have, we got an invitation to participate in 2 divisions, under 16 and under 20 in December. International tournament that will be staged right here.
In Tobago here?
In Tobago, so that we will be sending out advertisements for coaches to submit their applications for those 2 teams. Hopefully we could get the best coaches involved and get the best young Tobagoan players involved, because it has always been a major gap coming from a Tobago club to go straight to a national team. So now if we can bridge the gap and say, listen, try to make the Tobago team and get exposure for our youngsters, then it creates an avenue for them to really...
Well, I mean, without a youth-oriented tournament under the TFA, how do you go about getting the best of Tobago?
Well, right now we're looking at the secondary school leagues, and as you said, not having a youth tournament, we do have it on the agenda to have one in this season. Next year.
Okay.
Early next year. Well, the season has changed, so it's still going to be in this season.
Right.
We now play 25-26. Last year we played 24-25. So we do have on the agenda to have a youth tournament ourselves in Tobago, because, again, we need to engage them. And we can't just play 3 months of football as a youngsters. So that's in our plans as well.
Well, I mean, hopefully this time around, the league can start all now and finish June next year.
No.
Because you had a situation the last one was like a never-ending league in that sense.
Because we had some challenges with grounds, but the plan is to finish in February this year.
In February, I think all of Tobago will be very proud, especially the Cricket Association.
We're not going to interfere with cricket. Of course, you know I have some involvement in cricket as well.
Yes.
So that we're not going to be involved with cricket. We're not going to stop cricket. The cycle is changing.
Yes.
Even for cricket is not just no longer January to June anymore. Football
is year round. Sport is year round.
So we have to understand.
Every time I have you, I always want to talk about the women's aspect of things here in Tobago. What's happening there with women?
All right. So I think Tobago has been doing far better in women's football than men. We just had 19 female players on the 2 national teams that we had in the CFU tournament. So we're doing a lot of work there. What we need to do now is to expand the women's program, because, as you know, we have all the clubs that's in Scarborough, in the central area. We need to now expand into the east of Tobago.
So is that they are based in Scarborough, but they have players from throughout Tobago?
Well, yes, they have players from throughout Tobago, but we need to understand that there's an economic challenge for some of these girls to travel, and there's a safety concern.
Yes.
Because we don't want anything to happen to them if they have to travel 6-7 o'clock at night to go back to, whether it be Charlottesville, Speyside, Delaford, wherever they have to go to. So that we need to now expand and maybe have some teams coming out of those communities that will continue to encourage the girls and the women to play football and develop and live their dream, you know, that sort of thing. So women's football is on a good pathway. Of course, we're going to continue the high performance program. I'm happy to say that Miss Percy, who was head of the high performance program in Tobago, she was elevated to manager of our national women's teams under 16, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So she's now the manager of the national team there. So we're in the good part.
Yeah, she has definitely put in the work,
Yeah.
Miss Percy, and obviously I see where Kenya Yaya Corner has returned to the national team.
Yeah, but
and they have screening. They have screening taking place at this time in preparation for the upcoming Women's World Cup. And then Angus appointed coach as well.
Yeah, he was appointed coach for that women's team as well.
Yeah, and in terms of the prize structure, do you have an idea of what's going to take place in terms of the prize structure?
I could only remember the first prize. People don't remember
It's
second
200,000.
Maybe 250,000. But I kind of like the 50,000 of the 250. I kind of like 50,000. We would love to give more, but we have to be able to provide it. We don't want to fall in the same trap that happened about 10 years ago.
Understood.
Offer big prizes and didn't have the funding. So we're taking it small. Last year was 40, this year is 50. We're trying to increase as we go along.
I mean, 10,000 more, that's good.
So we're trying
That's
to
good.
increase as we go along, but we need the support of corporate Tobago and Trinidad as well.
Yeah, and recently I saw you guys held a short, well, should I say a ceremony? I think you were giving thanks to persons who would have supported the.
Yeah,
we want to share something.
Of course, we appreciate the volunteerism.
Right.
So we had a few individuals in the last term, last 4 years, giving up their time, especially in the disciplinary committee. So we wanted to just say thanks to them, and of course encourage them to continue the next 4 years. So in that regard, that we can get some continuity in the program. In that regard, so we did show our appreciation for people, and it's something that we will continue to do as we go along, because volunteerism is slowly dying, so we need to encourage it as well.
Yeah, and you're so right, because I mean, these organizations, especially with the executive, it's basically voluntary work as well.
It is voluntary work. I'm happy to say that we have some young ladies on board now on the TFA board who are working really hard in the administrative side and the operational side of the game. So I'm happy for them, because of course it's time for me to start making my way out and allowing other people to come in.
Succession planning, yes.
So we're happy that we have some young people on board, and hopefully they will take up the mantle and run football in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I want to shout out Avian Parks with her busy schedule. I mean, still assisted the Tobago Football Association.
She was one of those that we showed our appreciation to. I think it was a chance meeting.
Yeah.
We had a postponed game that she was upset that she went to look at and didn't see. And she said, listen, I'm going to take up the mantle, and we are eternally grateful for the support.
And before you go, Mr. Alfred, I mean, as the president of the association, what are you really looking forward to from this particular season?
Development. We have a young technical committee on board now that we need to have them working with our coaches, developing a philosophy for football in Tobago, the Tobago philosophy, so that we can now put that into the game. I'm hoping that our coaches will come together and meet regularly to discuss football, strengths and weaknesses in our game, and how we could improve it. And of course, from the administrative side, we need to create opportunities. Simple as that. We just need to create opportunities. So therefore, we are thankful for the tournament in December, and hopefully, once we get the support of the powers that be, we can provide more opportunities for our young footballers, male and female, to grow and to get opportunities to go beyond.
And in terms of persons who may be watching this interview now, I want to support the TFA. I mean, how can they reach out to you? What can
All right, so you can reach out to Tobago Football via email at tobagofa.com. You could reach out to Tobago Football by contacting me at 777-0211. So it's available to you to reach out to us and to get support Tobago young people. That's basically what we're asking for.
Because, I mean, 10 teams, 10 in Premier Division, 11, that's 21 teams in total, 21 communities impacted, and a number of youngsters impacted and involved.
And of course, we have 3 teams playing in Trinidad as well.
So a lot's happening Tobago Football Association wise. And Mr. Alfred, I want to thank you for coming here today. And guys, now you know, we have the Tobago Football Association League. It has started. And obviously the heat is already on with some of the top teams, communities here in Tobago. Big up Castor, one time Castor Gold City. I'm looking forward to seeing how their season go in the Premier Division. They have made a return, 2 years ago. They have decided to come back into the...
This is their second year.
This is their second year, and they are already doing good things. To all the communities, the managers, the coaches, the sponsors of all the teams, thank you guys so much for dedicating their services and ensuring that, you know, we keep football and sport alive in Tobago. Guys, don't forget this Sunday at the parade ground out there in Bacalet, we have the grand finals of the Tobago T10 Community Windball Cricket League. It started with 11 teams down to the final 4. We have a team out of Patience Hill, a team out of Belgarden, a team out of Roxburgh, gonna be out there battling. It's Patience Hill versus Belgarden, and then we also have Goodwood taking on Roxburgh Gunners. Big team. Big things happening out there on Sunday. Start at 11 with the semi-finals, the first semi-final game, and we go straight up to 3:30 for the grand finals, followed by the presentation ceremony. It's all free of charge, and based on the weather forecast, it's going to be a nice, hot and sunny day. Get out there with your coolers and support your communities, rep your communities. That's it for me today. Remember, we are in the best month of the year, October. Today is the 10th of October. I mean, it's going so fast, but I'm enjoying every single day. Coming up next, Good Morning Tobago with Natalie. Don't forget, guys, to share the live, share the live, share the live.
LambFest 2025, now in its third year, being the second event on the calendar for the World Food Day celebrations, did not disappoint, as it showcased the culinary skills of our local chefs here on the island. This unique event also saw scores of people eager to taste and enjoy the festivities.
Today we gather not just to celebrate our third annual LambFest, but to honor the hard work, passion, and resilience of Tobago's farmers, chefs, and entrepreneurs who continue to drive our island agricultural success. LambFest is more than just an event. It's a showcase of innovation, community, and the rich culinary heritage that makes Tobago unique. Each dish, each display, and each conversation today tells a story of dedication and progress.
All of this started 3 years ago in my conference room at the Division of Food Security. The Tobago Integrated Livestock Association, they were now forming, and they understood that the small ruminant industry needed to be developed on the island. And I gave them that responsibility of assisting us at the division to develop the small ruminant industry, because it was non-existent. We hardly had any stock on the farms. And 3 years later, we're now having 3 LambFests in Tobago.
This is the first LambFest where all the meats have been sold out, have been purchased by the caterers. We have 18 caterers on site, and every bit of the meat will purchase. We have no fresh meat. This is the first year, no fresh meat on sale for patrons. So I would say that everything is working in accordance and the market is really developing. I see the LambFest being franchised and possibly being spread out throughout the Caribbean. Who knows, probably international as well.
My name is Gillian. I'm from the UK. And I'm staying here for a little while. I was told by my friend that about this LambFest. Fantastic. My first bite, one of it's absolutely so delicious.
I think it's a great initiative because it's been on approach to food security and that I think Tobagonians could relate to. It's a food festival, so everybody comes, with a belly in their hand and a fair amount of curiosity as to what the caterers will present this year. And so far, I'm not disappointed. This is my family.
Well, my experience has been good. The food is excellent. I suppose when you come here, you will get lamb in different styles that you don't normally do at home. So that's why I come.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
The Caribbean Festival of the Arts, CariFesta, was first held in Guyana in 1972. This year, the 15th edition of the festival is taking place over a 10-day period in Barbados with a variety of events, including concerts, theatre performances, art exhibitions, and a youth village, all under the theme Caribbean Roots, Global Excellence.
CariFesta to me is the bringing together of Caribbean people, the culture, food, the arts, and it's such a beautiful experience to see the Caribbean has so many beautiful things. Yeah, so I said when I saw CariFesta Barbados, I said I have to be in this one.
I really appreciate the food cultures coming together, showcasing what they have to offer. You know, so it's a really, really good thing. I'm really happy about this CariFesta, and I'm looking forward to more CariFesta in the future.
Let's get it started! Whoa-yo, whoa-yo! Oh, soca people, let me jump on, body jump. Hey, jump on. Party at the road.
Bear vibes. That's all you can expect. Trinidad always brings the vibes. So when you come through to the booth, that is what you guys are giving, and I'm excited to be here.
I met a man in Tobago. He's the light of my life.
Amazing, it's really amazing to see all the countries bring out all their culture form and art form and dancing and singing. I'm really enjoying it so far.
Because it's the same dance steps that we have in Tobago, it's just that them do it in a different way.
I didn't understand the true meaning behind CariFesta. It's to connect with your roots and
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Good morning, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. It is Friday, the 10th of October, and you heard Marcus claim that October is the best month of the year. I'm sure many of you can debate that, but we'll give him. It's his month, and we know that Marcus is celebrating all day long. So this morning, of course, we start off with our news in 90 seconds. In a major breakthrough for the country's energy ambitions, Attorney General John Jeremy, SC, announced that the government of Trinidad and Tobago has secured the license for the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control to advance the long-anticipated Dragon Gas project. The approval came after months of diplomatic engagement and negotiations involving the governments of Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, and the United States. Jeremy revealed that the current administration spent considerably less than its predecessor in obtaining the license, which marked a crucial milestone in strengthening energy cooperation between Port of Spain and Caracas. Former Energy Minister Stuart Young has urged the government to clarify the terms of the 6-month provisional OFAC license recently granted for the Dragon Gas field.
In a Facebook post, Young questioned whether Shell and the National Gas Company are permitted to make payments to Venezuela under the arrangement. Citing his own role in securing a 30-year license for the project, he criticized the government's lack of transparency, accusing it of hypocrisy for withholding details after once labeling the PNM's Dragon negotiations as a secret deal. Young called for a full disclosure of the license terms. Trinidad and Tobago will face Bermuda today in a crucial CONCACAF final round qualifier for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The match kicks off at 6 p.m. at the Bermuda National Stadium. Head coach Dwight York said his team is ready to deliver. With 1 point from 2 matches, Titi sit third in Group B behind Jamaica and Curaçao. York urged focus and unity, calling the Bermuda clash a must-win for their World Cup hopes. And that was your news in 90 seconds. We're waiting for guests just to be settled in. And as I have some time with you this morning, just going back to Marcus' best month of the year, October, we know that October is special for many other reasons as well, because we have a lot of special days we commemorate. So, for example, we know October is known as the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. There are many campaigns all around us. Many of us have been touched by people who have close and dear to us who may have been diagnosed with breast cancer, who may unfortunately have succumbed to it, those who became victorious over it, and of course we celebrate those victories. I believe today is Mental Health Day. Let's talk a little about that. We know how important our mental state is. And years ago when we talk about mental health, all we really thought about was the people in St. Anne's. Yes, the people who gone crazy or mad, as we say. But mental health really has to deal with every one of us. What's your state of mind like? How are you stressed? How are you thinking? And it's something we really should reflect on. When we had our guest earlier on this week, where we spoke about the drug initiative programs coming up for all stakeholders involved, one of the things coming out of that discussion, of course, was the importance of seeking help when needed. Unfortunately, some of us will never recognize that point of when we do need help, and we need to rely on a support system. So for those of you who make up support systems, kudos to you. Keep doing what you do. It's not always easy to tell a loved one. I think you need a check-in, You probably need to speak to someone about whatever you're going through. We talk about grief. A lot of deaths on the island for various reasons. It seems every time you turn around, it's about 3 funerals you're hearing about in this small space. And people often aren't sure how to internalize and process grief. So let's learn more about who we are, our state of mind, and work together and support each other. This month is also another special month for many, Baby Loss Awareness Month. We know that might be a touchy situation, or rather sensitive situation for some. And I mean, that's obvious. We're talking about the loss of a baby, whether you gave birth to that baby or you lost it in the womb. It's indeed something that many of us do not speak about. It is something that many of us are not sure how to cope with it, but it is all around us. However, on the island, we have different NGOs, and there's a particular NGO that provides support for not just women. Many times we talk about baby loss, we think about that mother, but oftentimes there's a daddy right there who is not sure how to process and maybe how to be there for his wife, his girlfriend, his partner. And we also have to remember that we need to support our men too. All right, so a lot going on the island. We know that this is a big weekend also for the Seventh-day Adventist Church as they celebrate 100 years of existence in the Caribbean Union. And Tobago is hosting a large youth convention at Shore Park tomorrow for the entire day. And of course, they wrap up their celebrations with a youth concert. But of course, you don't have to be a youth. You just have to be youthful, right, to attend that concert. And I know they were advertising and promoting where you can get tickets. Of course, October, it's carnival for others as well. So those types of activities are also happening. So there's something for everyone, for everybody to do. We, of course, will just encourage you, whatever you do, wherever you are, to be safe. Be responsible. If you're in a place with alcohol and you're the driver, don't risk it. Oftentimes, it's not just you alone in the accident, right? It's other individuals, the innocent ones, who are also being caught up. And think of just the inconvenience of everything. So be smart, make smart choices. All right, so we'll go for a quick break, and I hope you do stay with us when we return.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Rise and shine, Tobago. The breakfast vibes you've been waiting for is here.
When it wrong, tell you you's a big dancer.
It's time for Sun Up Tobago, the ultimate breakfast inclusive pool party that kicks off your carnival in style.
We come to take shots. She come to take shots.
Join us on Thursday, October 23rd from 6 a.m. to 12 noon at Scarborough House, 138 Milford Road. Music pumping, breakfast sizzling, coolers flowing, and vibes unmatched. This is where sun, sea, soca, and celebration collides. Get your early bird tickets now at Pablo Supermarkets, Barcode, Lost Restaurant and Launch, Signature Cuts, IslandEtickets.com, and committee members. Don't miss the event where Tobago Carnival truly begins. Sun Up Tobago. Come for the breakfast, stay for the vibe.
Tobago Updates Television recognizes women in business. Every Thursday morning on the morning show, we engage with women-owned and operated businesses from right here in Tobago. We'll discover these women, their businesses, what inspired their business, their highs and their lows, and their encouragement to you. Join me, your host, Adana Kambi, this and every Thursday on the morning show from 7:40 a.m. as we celebrate and encourage women in business.
Coconut
Sports Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Is coming. Presenting the mashup king himself, DJ Kai, alongside the voice of the people, Boy Boy. The dynamic duo bringing pure fire to the road, CSI Khaled and Selecta Stefan. And Tobago's own, the people's champion, DJ Big Youth. This is Neon Night Mass. One road, one rhythm, one experience. Tobago Carnival 2025. We outside.
Girl, roll up now, you show me that wine. Turn around, girl, don't be shy. Hello.
Nirvana, Tobago's premier all-inclusive event for Carnival 2025.
About the way you blow my mind. Hold me tight and wave your hands to the sky like so. Just look at the person next to you and say welcome to.
Join us for a night of elegance, energy, and unmatched vibes at Fête AMPLIA. Come dressed in your finest island chic white attire and indulge in a premium carnival experience like no other. Experience live performances by Nadia Batson and Sass, Patrice Rexendi 18 Band, Sean Marshall, Lyrical, Ramonapi, Juby, and many more. Get your tickets now at islandytickets.com. Physical tickets available in Trinidad at SRP on the Avenue, Showaholic, Trin City Mall, Port of Spain, and Center City Mall. Happy's Waterhole, Pleasantville, Avala, Hotland Plaza in Tobago, Bar Scarborough, Deltec Distributors, Argyle, Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Jade Monkey Point, Showaholics Lowland, and any committee member. Immerse, illuminate, indulge. Saturday 25th October 2025 from 5 p.m. at the magnificent Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. Dress code Highland Chic, all white. Nirvana. Fête AMPLIA, where luxury meets rhythm and elegance meets euphoria. Don't just attend, arrive in style.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. I am your host, Natalie C.D. Richardson, and you are at the best place right now. You're on Tobago Updates Television. And this morning, sitting with me is Councillor Kerr, Assistant Secretary in Settlement and Public Utilities and Rural Development, and Miss Delia Jerry, who's the Program Coordinator in that division. And a special good morning and welcome to you both.
Hi, good morning, Natalie, and good morning to the rest of Tobago and your wider viewing audience.
Yes, and of course, we want to talk about the bus shed initiative. A few months ago, when the program was highlighted here, you know, we got a lot of persons were asking about it. How can I be a part of it? But as we have both of you here to give us an update, Councillor Kerr, I want you just to remind us why this initiative is something that the division is proud about.
All right. Well, first, let me say that the initiative is going ahead like really well right now.
Right.
And up front, I want to thank Corporate Tobago for their response. Right. It has been no secret that the THE has been complaining about the allocations for years. And it's also no secret that all bus sheds across the island are in desperate need of repairs. So, you know, when Dominion came to us and asked us about the possibility of doing the bus shed, that, of course, ignited an idea that I believe it's not a novel idea, because I understand that it was something that was discussed before. But, of course, we decided that we're going to run with it. And we are very happy that we did, because Corporate Tobago has responded very well. And that we are seeing that within the next 2 months or so, we should see a transformation across the island with our bus sheds. And, of course, they're not going to be mundane. If you look at those that have been done so far, the creativity is really, really good.
Yeah, vibrant color, it stands out. Yes.
Right, but this morning what we wanted to do is really basically report to Tobago on the initiative, and also to sensitize Tobago about two areas that we will be doing some work.
And before you do that, Councillor Kerr, just for those who may have no clue what we're talking about when we talk about the bus shed initiative, explain to them what that means.
All right, so what we did is that we partnered with business persons in Tobago, not only business persons, NGOs, churches,
right.
I mean, anyone who was willing to come on board to adopt a bus shed.
Right.
So what and I'm sure Delia would probably give a little more detail, but what it was is that simply that you will have an opportunity to repair, of course, you have to put out your money.
Yes.
Repair the bus shed, and you will have an opportunity to brand it out. And you will have that brand, your brand will be on the bus shed. Of course, you get free advertisement for the next, I think it's 5 years. 5 years, right? So, but it's you're responsible for cleaning it, keeping it clean, safe, and all of that, so that it will benefit us in terms of the repairs, and it will benefit you as a business individual in terms of being out there.
And before you update us into about what's happening now, let me bring Miss Jerry in the conversation. There are businesses who are hearing about this for the first time, who may have seen the changes as, you know, you drive along and say, you know, I want to be a part of this. Can anybody else join this program? Is there a waiting line? And how can businesses be a part of this awesome initiative?
So Natalie, the response has been overwhelming. We put out and Tobago businesses showed up and they showed off. And so at the moment, we are actually fully subscribed. And we do have a waiting list. And this waiting list is in the instance that somebody cannot fulfill what they need to do at their bus shed, the one that was assigned to them, that the people on the waiting list can actually come in and get a bus shed. But at the moment, we are fully subscribed, and we are really happy and thankful about that.
And I think the initiative really allows persons to take ownership in, you know, wherever you are from, and not just the branding, but they also have that responsibility to maintain. And when I saw the changes, because of course Dominion was the first one that was done, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, this is so awesome, because I would often see the bus sheds and say, most of the persons using it are senior citizens, and sometimes, you know, they have to wait there, they're standing, sometimes the roof is not all together if it's raining. So, you know, kudos to the brain children, I wouldn't say brainchild, the brain children involved in this. And for Corporate Tobago, you know, many times you get both, and people say, oh, all you want is our money, but you're not doing anything, but you are. And a big thank you to you. So update us in terms of what's going on now. I know there are 2 locations being worked on, so tell us about those 2.
Right. So what the division has been looking at is the 2 larger secondary schools on this end of the island, Bishop's High School and Signal Hill. What we noticed over the years is that the bus sheds that were there were inadequate in terms of the size.
Right.
As you would appreciate, you will have a high influx of students when school dismisses on afternoons. And what we realize is that whenever there's rain or the children cannot fit in the bus shed.
Right.
Now, of course, we will not be able to do a bus shed that can accommodate the entire school. But what we decided is that we were going to put larger bus sheds in those areas. And we are pleased to inform Tobago that those contracts have been awarded and those works will be starting very soon. But what we wanted to do as well is to ensure the public that the children will not be left in the rain, and therefore we have made arrangements, temporary arrangements for them in the event that there is rain and stuff. The projects are estimated to be completed in about 4 to 6 weeks' time. We are looking more at 4 weeks.
Right.
Give or take some of the material that might be a little bit difficult for the contractors to source. But we are optimistic. But in progress, there must be sometimes a little inconvenience, and there will be a little inconvenience to the students. And we want to apologize to them, but we are also assuring them that these initiatives are for their benefit.
Right.
And that when we have completed the project, that they will be very, very happy with their new bus sheds.
Right. And Ms. Jerry, you know, you have to always be so mindful of John Public, because we always have a lot to say. And here we are well into the term. Couldn't this project have been done over the July-August vacation?
And Natalie, we really were pushing for this to happen during that summer break. However, with all the things that go into the procurement process, sourcing contractors and stuff like that, it took longer than we anticipated. But we are there now. We've awarded the contracts, and what we are looking at is for it to be done in the shortest possible time frame. So what we've discussed with the contractors is actually doing a lot of the work that can be done off-site, to do those works off-site, and then just as we are ready to put in the infrastructure, that's when the inconvenience would happen. So we're hoping that even though the bus shelters would take about 4 to 6 weeks to complete, we're hoping that the inconvenience will be shorter than that time.
Right. And can other schools look forward to having their bus sheds in the lineup?
Well, we have looked at some of the schools that don't have, for example, Goodwood High School, and I'm not sure that we have any earmark for Pentecostal. No, I don't think so.
No.
But we have been looking at other areas outside of school where there have been requests for bus sheds.
Okay.
But in the first phase, we are trying to repair those that we have presently.
Right.
And as I said, Signal Hill and Bishops have been earmarked because we realized the large number of students who are there on afternoons. So going forward, for our new fiscal, we will target other areas. That's the plan.
Right. And as we wrap up, you know, I want to thank both of you for giving us the update. But I want to ask Ms. Jerry to encourage the users of these beautiful facilities, structures rather, to take care of it. I would allow you to speak to them at this time, especially with our young persons, because, I mean, you see when the new buses come out in a few weeks, you know, you hear the bus drivers complain the children slash the seats or, you know, something like that. So I want these bus sheds to remain, you know, clean and always looking vibrant, and you don't want to see it, you know, taken advantage of, so to speak.
And so, of course, this is an appeal. In addition to giving you the information, it's an appeal to you to take care of the bus shelters that are provided for your use. And it's not only for the students, because one of the plans that we have actually is to do an outreach program to the actual schools. So we're going to go into the schools and we're going to speak with them directly about taking care of what we've provided for them. But in addition to that, we are also, as the division, going to embark upon a campaign to sensitize Tobago at large in terms of taking care of these bus shelters and honoring the sacrifice and honoring the investment that businesses would have made in those bus shelters, because these are small businesses, a whole lot of them are small businesses, and this comes at a price for them. And so we would want to encourage and implore Tobagonians to take care of what is provided for you, because when you don't have it, then you complain. So we're providing it for you, and we are hoping that you would really, really take care of it, see it as your own.
And thank you so much for that. So we are all encouraged to play a part of this awesome initiative. And thank you again for your time and for the information.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
Viewers, we go for another quick break, and when we return, we have another guest who is joining us virtually this morning, so stay tuned.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion, I beat it road, we beat it road, I beat it road, we beat it road. When the spirit it, I beat it road, when the spirit it, I beat it road. What to do? Let me see how stick you could get, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could, see how stick you could, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could get, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could, see how stick you could, see how stick you could get. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I overeating. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I over.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Thank you, viewers, and welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. And joining me virtually is the president of the Tobago Hotel Association, Mr. Reginald McLean. Good morning, Mr. McLean.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on. I'll just make one quick correction. The Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association.
Thank you for that, right? That's very important. The president of the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association. Yes, I got it right this time.
That's correct.
Thank you for joining us, sir. And of course, you have been heard and seen recently in the media talking about $1 billion, right? And you are saying that is what is needed for the Tobago's tourism revamp. I want you to explain what you think will cost that $1 billion. Of course, we can't get into all the details, because when we look at the Tobago House of Assembly budget, when we look at what's being allocated, I mean, we don't see the figure of $1 billion for any one sector. You know, we're looking at seeing in the budget figures like 51 million, we're seeing 150 million is the request for capital development from the THA to central government. We don't know what the Tobago House of Assembly will get when the budget is read on Monday. But here you are saying that 1 billion is needed to revamp Tobago's tourism industry. So explain that figure to us.
As you're fully aware, since about 2007, 2008, I think 2007, the Land Act came out in Tobago, and then we saw a great decline in our tourism product in the years following that, to where last year was 24,500 international passengers into Tobago. That decline brought with it a decline in everything else in Tobago, which included hotels, their rooms, restaurants, glass bottom boat operators, tour guides. Everything started to go down in a sense. So when I talk about $1 billion, what I'm talking about is the overall industry of Tobago. If you drive around Tobago, you see a lot of places that have been closed down. A lot of the hotels need upgrading. I mean, I know recently in the news you heard about Magdalena getting needing 50 something million to do their upgrades. That's just one property. But when you drive down the leeward coast of Tobago, and you start to go down to Bloody Bay and all these areas that have public facilities, a lot of them have closed. They've never reopened since COVID. So you have to look at a holistic thing of Tobago and understand that when I talk about $1 billion, I'm talking about every aspect of things that tourism needs and requires in Tobago. And I'm not just talking about foreign tourism, I'm talking about domestic as well. So if I go to a beach in Tobago and I want to use a public restroom and there's none, what do? Do I go in the bush? So we have to look at it from every single aspect. All our cherished sites that we have, like where the old hospital was up, where the fort is up there, all the other forts in Tobago, all of these things need to be brought back to spec where they were before, to enable us to really bring in these tourists into our island, to enjoy our island. So it's a holistic view.
Right. And you explained that, and I'm glad that you did, because, people will just take the sound bites and run with it. And that's why I really wanted you to share how you came up with that figure.
But I have to go a little further on it as well. Marketing of the island. We desperately need Tobago to be marketed.
Right.
If we can't spend more than 42 million TT dollars to market all of Tobago, that's not going to happen. So we need money to fund the marketing, and then we also need to look at the airlift, because airlift is critical. If we're going to spend this kind of money, we have to get the airlift coming into the island, not just on the domestic route Trinidad to Tobago. Get international airlift coming in, and all of these things cost a lot of money. You look at some of the other Caribbean islands that spend millions and millions and millions of US dollars to market their destination, and it pays off for them. Tobago is the only island right now that tourism is really down in the Caribbean. I mean Trinidad, because Trinidad gets all the flights coming in to Piarco, and then Tobago gets the dregs coming across via the air bridge. So there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, and really to bring Tobago's tourism back to where it was when it was 90,000 plus international passengers coming in, and we now have a airport terminal that needs to be opened. And yes, it's a big terminal. Yes, we don't have the planes to put into it. But if we leave it closed, what's going to happen? It's going to deteriorate. So we have to open it, start using it, and hope that the chicken and egg situation will play off, and we'll be able to encourage airlines to come into our spanking new facility. So it's a lot of areas that we have to dig into to get tourism to work. When last you heard somebody talk about scuba diving, and Tobago is one of the best scuba diving places in the world? When last you heard people talk about sport fishing? Recently we had all sorts of events happening in Tobago, and you heard nothing about it. The rugby sevens that we used to have in Tobago, that's gone. So we have to encourage all to come back. Tobago had one of the best sailing weeks in the Caribbean. So we got to be real and realistic and understand that we have to put money in to get money back out. And we then talk about our foreign exchange and how low it is. And, I am on vacation right now and I've not been able to get a lot of foreign exchange. So there's not much I can do.
Right.
Tourism is one of those things that could bring that in. But we have to make sure that we put people on boards who are tourism oriented and know what they're doing. And I'm not just talking about through the Tobago House of Assembly. I'm talking about civil aviation. I'm talking about Airports Authority, the Port Authority. All of these areas really need people who have vested interest in tourism to really put forward their best and get Trinidad and Tobago back on a path of tourism.
Right. And while we know that the government and its various agencies have that responsibility, what are the members of your association also doing to help revamp tourism?
Well, one of the first things that stands out in my mind is on July 24th, we did a tourism forum, which was an international forum to speak about tourism and get people to understand where the problems are. And that's the first time ever that has been done in Tobago. And we are very proud to have done that. And after that, we are constantly working with government officials, both central government and THA, to try and move things forward. So it's a big play to try and get people to understand what tourism needs and how we have to move it forward.
Mm-hmm. And we know, of course, investment is also something to be looked at. I know in April, about maybe April, May, and in November, there are usually 2 large conventions or conferences being held. And it really focuses on investment. It brings together players who may have the money to invest, etc. And I'm not sure if there are any representatives from Tobago who usually attends those. For example, there's the Caribbean Hotel Resort Investment Summit. I think we had a representative coming from the government side, I think for the very first time last year, because it was held in Barbados, so it was probably pretty close. So if you can share with us if your members or anyone who picks up that area so that they can go meet the players in the industry who have the funding and who are looking for investments, because the countries that are usually strong at these conventions, you have seen the trend, Jamaica, Barbados, Dominica, you've seen the trend where tourism has also increased. Of course, there are other factors, but they tend to be very present, very vocal in advocating and presenting investment opportunities at conferences like these.
Okay, would you invest in an island that's going nowhere? So you have to really look at it and say, this is why we need the investment in tourism that we're talking about. We need to show that Tobago has foresight and that Tobago is moving forward. And this is how you encourage people to come in. When they see the current room stock, for example, between the hotels, the guest houses and all that of a certain standard that will bring the international flights in, then they'll say, oh, okay, let's come to Tobago. Let's look at investing. So it's, again, we're back to that chicken and egg. You want to get the money to invest, but we have to get what we have back in to a proper standard for it to move forward.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we are all anticipating the budget presentation on Monday. What do you hope to hear coming out of that budget for Tobago, for Tobago's tourism industry?
Well, as I said, we've made it clear that we're looking for $1 billion. We know we're not going to get $1 billion. But if we can get some sort of commitment over the next 2 to 3 years that shows that that central government is really interested in tourism as part of our diversification strategy for the country, not just Tobago, for Trinidad as well, they have to put the dollars in to that budget to show that we really want tourism into the islands. and show that we have to grow it.
Right.
Excuse me.
You mentioned marketing, and we know that one of the programs we hear about in the public is when the Tobago House of Assembly officials go to these grand marketing conventions and they carry performers, etc. Do you think that is working for us here when we attend these marketing marketplaces?
The World Travel Market in London is in about 3 weeks' time, 4th, 5th, and 6th of November. It is one of the largest tourism marketing shows in the world, especially for our area. We have to also think about ITB in Berlin in March, where our 2 flights that come in from Europe, 1 out of Germany and 2 out of London. And yes, that is a big part of getting business into Tobago, where you go to meet the tour operators. You may be dealing with them for years, but they want to see you, they want to talk to you. So those shows are really good. But we have to look at all the niche markets. Tobago has a natural rainforest in the middle of the island. That needs to be marketed more to the nature lovers, the bird watchers. We have the best scuba diving in the Caribbean, I would tell you, or even so far as the world. So these are things that we really have to start emphasizing. You have DEMA coming up, I think it's in about 3 weeks. I don't have my calendar with me. So all of these things are where we have to put our markets. But we have to branch out a little bit further from the comfortable markets that we have. And we have to dig a lot deeper into the US and Canada. We have to dig a lot deeper South America, from Guyana through Suriname, through Argentina, these places, and get that business. We also have the Caribbean. And I'm back again to one thing with the Caribbean. The taxes that we pay on airfares for intra-regional travel are horrendous. And it's to people coming in to visit. So people in the Caribbean visiting other Caribbean islands. Right now, I'm in Jamaica, I'm visiting here. I'm enjoying it. It's a lot cheaper for me to come here than to go somewhere else.
Right.
But the cost of the airfare, it's cheaper for me to go into Miami or Fort Lauderdale or New York.
True, quite true. Yes. Yep. And you hear people talk about that as well. They may be looking for another option and would like to go to the Caribbean. But when they look at, as you rightfully said, your ticket fare and what you're paying, it's quite easier just to hop and head to Miami.
Barbados and St. Lucia right now are taking the lead on that. And they have agreed to start reducing the taxes. Right. Now, you're back to a situation where a politician once told me, we need those taxes to pay for the airports. But work it the other way. Reduce the taxes, get more people coming in. The country is going to get a lot more revenue.
Correct.
And you're going to have the money you need to deal with your airports, etc. So take a little less and grow a little bit and get more.
Yes, definitely. And Mr. McLean, we want to thank you for sharing with us this morning. It's always a pleasure to hear your perspective and hear the plans and, the goals of your association. And we wish you and your other members all the best as we all wait to hear what's happening on Monday for us and as you continue to champion the cause of revamping Tobago's tourism industry. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Of course, viewers, it's time to say goodbye until we meet again. We are wrapping up things here in studio this morning. And I want to thank you for staying with us from the morning show right through GMT. It's always appreciated. And remember, yes, it's Friday. It's the weekend. You are your brother's keeper. So let's be safe out there. Thank you.